Thanks for joining. Today's question was about grain-free diets and is it good? So every doctor has their own opinion and I will give you mine because that's why you're watching. So occasionally there are some doctors that like it, but the vast majority of veterinarians that I've spoken to and myself are not a big fan of grain-free. I've had multiple nutritional specialists and internal medicine specialists kind of walk me through some of the issues that developed with grain-free diets. A lot of those things we had gotten rid of for years, and then because of marketing, money, and marketing, again, they can charge more, marketing and money, it got to be a real prominent thing, and every manufacturer of food didn't want to miss out on that piece of the pie for profits and money. So they had to put out their version of it, or they were just going to lose that entire market share to the feline population or feline pet population nationwide. And you're talking millions and millions of dollars per year. So I am not a big fan. There are some other brands that I really don't like. At least back in the beginning, I had a lot of clinical issues with patients that were on some of the hands down best marketed, like Blue Buffalo, Taste of the Wild, Blue Diamond, and some of that. I believe they've since been sold and haven't kept up with them quite as much. But I just had a lot of issues with that. I talked to a lot of colleagues. We were all seeing some of the same issues nationwide, not just here locally. So I wasn't a big fan of that. And me personally, I took 100 patients that were on the food and simply just had them change the food, and 95% of those patients, so 95 out of 100, their clinical presentation improved or went away entirely. Now, there is an exception. There is that other 5%, and yes, there are patients where grain-free actually does help and is a very good thing for. But statistically, in my experience and a variety of other colleagues, the vast majority of patients, we tend to see more issues on grain-free than a normal diet that came out before. So do your own research, do what makes you feel comfortable, just know what you're kind of getting into. But I'm not a big fan of grain-free. Had a lot of issues with it and a lot of problems resolved when all I did is switch them off the diet and the owners followed up. So that's just my experience. Don't know if that helps you, offends you, or irritates you, but that was just my opinion on it. It was a great question. It is something we talk about pretty regularly here with some clients when they bring it up or when we notice they're on one of the foods that we've just had issues on. To kind of drive my point home a little more, clinically over the last 5 years or so, I've had less clinical issues on Old Roy dog food than I have on some of these different grain-free and high-end, well-marketed dog foods. And Old Roy is not necessarily the best quality food, but clinically that's what I was seeing, and so were some of my other colleagues. So hope that helps answer that question a little bit, and hope you all learned something, and good luck. Do the best research you can on your own. What makes you feel comfortable, do that. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.